drivers, start your engines. Pull those belts down tight one more time, warm up those tires, hit your marks, and let's go racing, boys and girls. NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, Formula E, and NHRA Racing Talk. This is the Championship Racing Network. Now here is your hosts, Steve West and Matt Nicholson, with producer John Myers.
And John Bird also in tow. One of these days we might actually get that reworked. But then again, that'll be the one weekend that John Bird will take off. That'd be just our luck.
All right.
We'd have that fixed, and John Bird would be off that weekend and be like, well, and by the way, we have to change that again. Hey, good morning to you. I am Steve West. That's Matt Nicholson. We got 2 hours to roll here and figure out what all in the world is going on in the world of racing. But first things first, good morning. How are you?
I'm making it.
Yeah, that's
here. Still kicking.
That's about the best way to talk about it right there.
Yep.
Late night last night for me, but good night. We'll talk about that with one of our great partners here at Championship Racing Network called Siluria Brewing Company. Had a great night there. And Thursday night, same thing, but over at the other great sponsor, Cat and Bird. And it looks like we may have another new sponsor coming on board.
Sweet.
Hopefully we'll have more on that next week. So, yeah, lots of good stuff to talk about, but I guess we need to talk about last week real quick and kind of get you guys set up and ready for this weekend. Last weekend, of course, Nashville kind of came down to rookie versus veteran last Saturday evening in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and veteran came out on top. Justin Allgaier, Brent Cruz battling it out. It seemed kind of like all evening. With about 20 laps to go, Allgaier gets out front, and he's able to pull away and get the win by almost a second and a half. That's not to take anything away from what Brent Cruz was able to do, though.
No. Brent Cruz is holding his own.
Yeah.
And he's showing what he's capable of. I got a feeling he's going to sneak a few of them up before the end of the year.
And, we're already talking silly season. We spent a good portion of time on, the entirety of the Cross Flags episode this week was all about silly season. And you mentioned Brent Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
This is year one for him in O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. How soon is too soon?
As in the sense of going up the cup?
Yeah. I mean, getting a one-off ride here or there is one thing. I'm talking about going full-time.
It would be within 1 year.
You think so?
Like I said on Cross Flags the other day, I firmly believe that he is the driver in waiting for the 11 car when Denny calls it quits.
Yeah, and considering the fact that we heard what we heard when it came to Corey Heim, and we'll get to that. We'll refresh all that here in just a little bit as well. True. Top 10, Allgaier, Cruz second, William Sawalich third, Sam Mayer fourth. Sam Mayer has had a rough start to the beginning of the year. Is this the beginning of a turnaround for him, or is this like a one-off?
I think he's going to get it turned around.
Okay. Brandon Jones, Corey Day, Carson Kvapil, Moonlighter Kyle Larson in there. Taylor Gray and Sammy Smith made up the top 10. So we mentioned Sam Mayer. His teammate, Sheldon Creed, gets his first win of the year. Since then, it seems like he's disappeared.
That's an understatement. He's gotten really, really quiet since Atlanta.
Yeah, and no explanation really as to why.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
There's really not.
All right, so with the win, it extends Allgaier's already impressive points lead. It's now up, get this, to a 770 to 591 point gap over now second place Jesse Love.
As the way the old saying goes, he gone.
He gone, indeed. Corey Day is third. Sheldon Creed has fallen to fourth. Brandon Jones fifth. Austin Hill sixth. Followed by Carson Kvapil, Sammy Smith, William Sawalich, Parker Retzlaff, Sam Mayer, and Taylor Gray. Taylor Gray is 12th in points and 12 points up on Rajah Caruth. That is not the most comfortable of margins, so we'll see what happens there.
Nope.
Turning to Sunday, NHRA up in Maryland for the Potomac Nationals. First time for the NHRA at this track, I think?
It's been
a very long time.
It's been a long time since they've been to Budds Creek.
Okay. Top Fuel final came down to Sean Langdon versus Doug Kalitta. Kalitta slightly quicker off the light. Langdon took over from there, gets the win. 3.762 elapsed time at 334.9 miles per hour. Fourth win of 2026, 26th win of his career. Funny car comes down to a battle of former teammates. Jack Beckman versus Austin Prock. Austin Prock switching from John Force Racing to another team in the offseason. Prock of the quicker reaction time gets the win on the other end, 3.956 elapsed time, 324.2 miles per hour. This marks his first win with his new team in 2026, 22nd win of his career. And a lot of people said this justified his move. Honestly, I think he probably would have been the winner of an event before now had he stuck with John Force Racing. But we don't know what went on behind the scenes.
That is true.
Something had to have happened there.
Yeah.
To leave a championship pedigree team. Let's see. Greg Anderson, Dallas Glenn pairing off Pro Stock Car Finals. Glenn, much quicker off the light, had to shut it down due to lack of traction. It allowed Anderson to get the win, 6.472 ET, 212.46 miles per hour. Marking his second win of the year so far, 114th of his career, and he's still about 50 or so behind John Force for the all-time lead.
Yep.
Woo. And Pro Stock Motorcycle, Angie Smith taking on Ryan Ayler. Smith gets the jump off the light, rolls onto the win, 6.683 ET, 201.52 miles per hour on a motorcycle. Gets her first win of 2026, fourth win of her career so far. So here's your points. In Top Fuel, Sean Langdon leads it by 76 over Doug Kalita, the husband and wife team, or the wife and husband team, as the case may be, of Leah Pruitt, then Tony Stewart. Josh Hart making up the fifth of the top five. Ron Capps is on top of Funny Car, 14 up on J.R. Todd. Then it's Chad Green, Matt Hagan, and Jordan Vandergriff. Dallas Glenn leads Pro Stock Car by 11 over Greg Anderson. Then it's Greg Stanfield, Matt Hartford, and Erica Enders. And Richard Gadsden leading Pro Stock Motorcycle by 26 over Angie Smith. 48 over her husband, Matt Smith. Gage Herrera, fourth. What has happened to him? That guy dominated here over the last couple of years. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still up there in the top five. He's still getting close to and making finals occasionally. Mm-hmm. But he used to walk away with this, kind of like what we were talking about Justin Allgaier.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. And then some.
Is it everybody else caught up to him?
Yep.
Okay.
It's everybody else is caught up.
Gotcha. John Hall rounding out the top five there. We go from Maryland to Detroit. IndyCar's annual race on the streets of that city. Alex Palou claims the pole. Somehow prevailed through all kinds of contact between other drivers, multiple tire strategies, and caution flag after caution flag. And he ends up with the win, besting Kyle Kirkwood by over 3 seconds at the checkered flag. Trailing Palou and Kirkwood, Graham Rahal, Pato Award, Christian Lundgaard, Felix Rosenquist, Louis Foster. Haven't talked much about him this year. Marcus Ericsson, Kiffin Simpson, Joseph Newgarden making up the top 10. Palou extends his lead over Kirkwood now 327 to 265 points. We're halfway through the season there. It's going to start to become much tougher to catch him. David Malukas is third, Christian Lundgaard fourth. Pato Award makes up the top five. Dennis Hauger continues to lead the rookie points, now a 128 to 90 point gap over Kyle Collette. Mick Schumacher is actually closing in on Collette. He's got 75 points now. And Honda continues to lead Chevrolet in the engine manufacturer standings, now up to a gap of 690 to 587 points. We go to Michigan and everybody talks about how in NASCAR, when they race at Michigan, it's for pride of the different maker. Mm-hmm. Ford, Chevrolet, it's kind of their backyard. Toyota likes to come in and spoil everything. This not only was in Chevrolet's backyard for IndyCar, the title sponsor of the Detroit Grand Prix is Chevrolet.
That it is.
How big is it for Honda to now say they've got, is it a four-year winning streak, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
How important is that for them?
That's, like you said, that's the equivalent of Toyota coming into Michigan and winning.
Yeah.
Because Toyota's former home facility was Auto Club.
Right.
Because they were in Toyota's in
oh God, I can't remember the suburb. It's not that far from Fontana, though.
No, it's not at all. But, you know, it's pretty sizable. Just like Toyota's got a little bit of a winning streak at Michigan, or a couple-year winning streak, and they're trying to go, I think, 3 in a row at Michigan. But you know Chevrolet and Ford's going to come in, guns blazing, hair on fire.
Yeah.
Try to break that streak.
They want it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Then came Sunday evening after a rain delay. Sound familiar? Cup Series got things rolling in Nashville. Race began to wind down. You had 3 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas pacing the field. The question basically was who was going to prevail.
Costa Mesa, California.
Costa Mesa, there you go. Leave it to the driver with the most win amongst the active drivers to be the guy. Denny Hamlin fended off Chase Briscoe while at the same time finding enough in his number 11 to get around Christopher Bell. Gets the win, 62nd win of his career. Bell in second and a frustrated Briscoe in third, trailed by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in fourth, and Shane Van Gisbergen claiming his best oval track finish of his career to date with a top 5, fifth place finish.
That is the one car that I did not expect to be carrying the entire weight of Trackhouse so far.
That's true. You would have thought it would have been Ross Chastain.
Yep.
Tyler Reddick was 6th, Chase Elliott 7th, of Ryan Blaney, Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar rounding out the top 10. Reddick continues to lead Hamlin in points, but he's not running away like Allgaier. It's 657 to 580. Still a pretty sizable lead. Ryan Blaney is 3rd, even though he's just something's going on with those Fords. We can't put our finger on it. Chase Elliott 5th. Then you got, I'm sorry, for a second. Yeah, 4th. Ty Gibbs 5th. Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, Carson Hocevar, Daniel Suarez, William Byron. There's Shane Van Gisbergen pretty solidly up there in the chase contention. Brad Keselowski, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, and Austin Cindric make up your top 16. Cindric's hold on that final chase slot, a very, very slim 2 points. And if it weren't for having really, really hard luck over the last couple of races, he might not be in there, and it might be Ryan Preece, who's just on the outside looking in.
Yeah, that's Preece is right there lurking, so Cindric better not slip.
Mm-hmm.
He better
no
not.
doubt about it. And again, that goes back to that Ford situation. And I get it, there are 2 Fords there, but we've seen more this year out of RFK Racing as a team than we have out of Team Penske.
Yep. Personally, I think Ford's problem is they're trying to put too much emphasis on their newfound F1 fame and program.
You might be right there. Plus the fact that, as we've talked about, for all intents and purposes, they have 0 representation now in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Yeah, 0. And it's sad.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so this weekend slate of racing, not as big as last week, but still busy. We'll be up in Michigan later on today. Craftsman Truck Series running the DQS Solutions and Staffing 250, powered by Precision Vehicle Logistics. They won't say that entire name when they do the broadcast. I don't care whether it's TV or radio.
Nope.
Michigan International Speedway is the location, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Central Time. Race coverage start.
They actually start practicing qualifying in 13 minutes.
We'll keep an eye on it for you. Tomorrow morning, Formula One gets rolling with the Louis Vuitton Grand Prix of Monaco. That just seems to fit. Monaco and Louis Vuitton, high-end stuff. Yeah, sure. 19 turns, 2.07-mile-long course. That's, of course, on the city streets. Airs on Apple TV here in the U.S., starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time. Qualifying, I think, this morning.
Let's see here. I think so.
I'll let you look that up while I let you know that the NHRA is next up for tomorrow's action here as we air live on this Saturday. There'll be an Epping, New Hampshire for the New England Nationals presented by B Pro. It's easy for me to say. B Pro Auto. Eliminations start 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central Time. Fox will pick up the coverage starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central Time.
F1 qualifies at 9 a.m. sharp.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on both of those. Right about the same time that the NHRA coverage on Fox gets rolling, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, Amazon Prime and MRN Radio get into the coverage of the Firekeepers Casino 400 at Michigan International Speedway. Of course, again, that's the Cup Series. And then wrapping up the racing weekend, another Sunday evening primetime race. But this time it's for the NTT IndyCar Series. They're going to run the Bommarito Auto Group 500 at Worldwide Tech Raceway at Gateway near St. Louis on Fox and IRN Radio, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time. That seems a late start.
That's a little late.
But considering these races tend to go pretty quick, within about 2 hours. It's not the worst
Yeah,
thing.
Gateway will be a fast race.
Yeah. So of the series that we cover, Formula E, IHRA, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, all have this weekend off. All right, Mr. Bird, let's go ahead and take that first break. Roll that beautiful bean footage if you don't mind. And when we come back, we're going to get into news of the Cup Series here because the biggest news of the week tends to come out of it. We're going to, as they say in the business, bury the lead a little bit. And that, of course, is the passing of a NASCAR Hall of Famer. But we will go over his life in just a little bit. And we talked about silly season just a moment ago and how it's kind of already begun. We talked about it on the Cross Flags podcast. We'll give you a refresher when we return. We're just underway on this edition of CRN.
Stay right here for more on the Championship Racing Network.
And stay wet for weeks after a rain. Poor drainage can cause many problems for your home and landscaping, not to mention your foundation. We're talking to David Fevet in Be Dry, Alabama. We can go through a drought, but one thing we know,
the rain will be here. And when we do, you remember the one name in business that has been around since 1958 with a lifetime warranty is Be Dry. Be Dry is there to fix that problem and fix it for good.
in addition to the lifetime warranty for the structure of your home, Be Dry is offering a spring special of 25% off an encapsulation of your crawl space to help eliminate musty odors in your home. Contact the pros at Be Dry Alabama with the lifetime warranty, plus 25% off encapsulation for a limited time only. Don't forget Be Dry Foundation and Waterproofing. Visit them at BeDryAlabama.com. Once again, that's BeDryAlabama.com.
Two tires only, and back out to the track for more action on the Championship Racing Network.
Yeah, welcome back into the show. Portions of the show being brought to you by our good friends over at Siluria Brewing Company. As mentioned, was out there last night, had a great crowd. For those of you that have been longtime listeners, you know that I host on every Friday evening from 7 to 9 a music trivia game. 14 teams last night. Great crowd, had a fantastic time, a lot of fun. Big wide range in ages as well, and a lot of them were good sports, so had a good time. They still have those T-shirts that I was talking about for sale. What I'm going to do is wear mine probably on this show next week and show it off. That way you guys can tell. Great patriotic America's 250th anniversary shirt. It's on sale for $25, $5 of which each and every shirt sale goes to the local VFW, which is a really, really cool thing. And plus, there's always something going on out there. They're closed on Mondays. Sometimes they're open on Sundays. They try and give them a little bit of time off. But every once in a while, they'll open up on a Sunday. So if you follow them on social media, they'll let you know really early on Sunday whether they're going to be open that afternoon/evening. And then there's regular trivia on Tuesday nights and all kinds of great stuff. Plus, they got food trucks out there pretty much all the time. Great place to go. Siluria Brewing Company, 145 First Avenue West in Alabaster. If you are familiar with Alabaster and you know where the old post office, not the new one, but the old post office was, that is where they're located. They took over the old post office location and turned it into a really, really cool local craft brewery. A lot of great wide selection of brews. They do have ciders. They've got some wines. They do a very, very nice root beer, too. So if you're not a person who drinks alcohol, or if you've got a kid, they have options there as well. So very, very fun place. Slurry Brewing Company. Thank them very much for their sponsorship here of CRN. All right, so if you missed it, we advise you to go back on and go to CRN Live on YouTube, not right now, and check out Cross Flags, because we got to talking about silly season. And quick overview of it is this. Corey Heim was announced as going to full-time next year with 2311 Racing. You and I knew this.
Mm-hmm.
We knew he was going to be in a Cup car next year. Toyota was grooming that.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know exactly which car. We had our suspicions. You and I talked about it at the beginning of the season. We kind of figured Riley Earps was on the hot seat, and sure enough, he is. And he's going to be out. He'll join Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace, displacing Riley Earps. Couple of questions came up from that. Number one, is the car going to remain the 35? Because the car number he's using right now is 67. So does the number remain 35, or do they switch it?
They said in the press conference that it was set to remain as 35.
Yeah, but there's still time between now and the beginning of next season for that to change. But again, yeah, the team's still calling it that number. That's number one. Riley Earps, what happens with him? Because regardless of whatever you might think about Riley Earps, he brings a check.
True.
And we've talked about those who, come with checks. But the truth of the matter is bring check, get ride. He says he hopes to have an idea of where he's going to be next year within the next month or so.
I'm sure he already knows.
Probably.
I'm sure I already know.
You just got to, make sure the ink is dry and you're not stepping on anybody's toes. And there may be riders within contracts that don't allow you to announce things until a certain date.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you say you're pretty sure you think you know where he's going to go. Let's just leave it at this. Which of the 3 top NASCAR series will it be? Because I personally think he's dropping back down one.
I think he's going to be making, how do I word this? I think he's going to be making a slightly backwards lateral move.
Staying in the Cup Series?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on it. Then there's Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion himself. Jimmy Johnson, who is now the primary owner of Legacy Motor Club, Legacy MC, along with Nighthead Capital. It turns out now he's doing something that we are starting to see more and more often. I've forgotten which one it is. It's not Aston Martin. It's Alpine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Has a couple of celebrities that are partial owners. There's some NFL football teams now that are seeing celebrities. And I'm talking about movie, music, TV stars that are coming in and they're being part owners of teams. Miami Dolphins, Las Vegas Raiders are 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Johnson has announced now he has multiple celebrities that have come on board as partial owners. First one has been already announced. Country singer and former Hootie and the Blowfish member Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
Who are the others? 7-time Cup Series champion turned team owner isn't saying at this time, but he admits there are some 27 celebrity investors in this group that we're talking about. Johnson got to talking to the Sports Business Journal, said this, quote, "We have a huge group of celebrity investors. Look forward to making that formal announcement with them, but a couple more will be announced as we kind of get into the early summer stretch." We're here, Jimmy. But these are first and foremost friends, people that are passionate about motorsports. Some are friends in music, sport, motorsport, various aspects of the business. Quite notable as well. Even some in action sports guys really wanted to be part of this journey and see what's going on in motorsports in the world of NASCAR and the opportunity to help amplify that. So we're really excited at Legacy about the back half of the year and some of the stuff we're going to be bringing in, smartly step into. But I think in our garage area, NASCAR in general is really taking a shift at looking at things a little bit differently, more so than I've seen in the past as a competitor. So I think we're really moving in the right direction. It's just going to take a little time to get that flywheel spinning. He's not altogether wrong. I mean, we see more and more celebrities now invested in this. Michael Jordan, obviously. Pitbull, who was for a while, no longer, I don't think, working with Trackhouse and as a partial owner.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to see this more and more. I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world.
It's really not, because of how the business dynamic of, well, in general, the business dynamic of motorsports in general has turned.
Right.
It's not just in NASCAR. It's in IndyCar. It's in Formula One. It's You don't see it much in NHRA, hardly ever.
I'm going to go yet on that.
Yeah, keyword yet. But it's, you got the likes of Travis Kelce. I can't stand that name, but Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, people like that that are tied in with the Chiefs, that are with Alpine.
Right.
And out of that Knothead Capital group, you got Tom Brady that's tied in with Legacy Motor Club. It's going to say it by default. Now you got Darius Rucker with Action Sports Stars. I would not be totally shocked if the person of the caliber of somebody like Travis Pastrana or Tony Hawk.
Maybe both.
It could be both. But if there's 27 investors into that team, I'll give you an example. I'll take one of them for an example. Darius Rucker. With how I'm familiar with how music royalties are paid out to artists, and we know Darius Rucker's music is played across multiple genres of stations on a daily basis nationwide.
Oh, yeah.
And every time that song hits a radio, he's getting paid.
Yeah.
So he's got the money to do it.
Sure.
His investment is probably very sizable. And with Jimmy Johnson building these relationships with other celebrities, it's not going to be long before you see Legacy as a powerhouse.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I mean, they do take a back seat in the grand scheme of things in the Toyota hierarchy, or at least right now, because Joe Gibbs Racing has always been that big fish in that little pond. But now that pond also has 2311 Racing, which is a close affiliate, obviously, of Joe Gibbs. We get that. But Legacy MC has insisted they're going to go out there on their own, but they're still in that little pond where Joe Gibbs Racing dominates. But, again, money speaks. And if you can get that investment into the group and it starts raising your flag that much higher, Toyota can't ignore you. They have to help you. So I think you're right. I think at some point in time, they're pretty much going to have to look at them and go, yeah, we'll make sure you got 100% full support. Now, I'm not saying that they don't now, but again, to me, they're kind of like the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, you're in the Toyota camp, but those two guys over there, they're the bigger fish. And at some point in time, Jimmy Johnson has to get Toyota to say, you're no longer that redheaded stepchild sitting there in the room under the stairs.
That is true.
Come on out and be a part of the big party. Then there's Trackhouse Racing. We just mentioned them. Last week, I hadn't heard much about this until I think the last time I heard about this was Phoenix and not earlier this year. Blown brake rotors. Or exploding brake rotors, if you want to put it that way.
Well, I'm honestly not completely surprised by this.
Okay.
Because of how the brake package is on these Army tank cars that are the Gen 7 cars. And with them running I don't think a lot of people realize thought they were still on the 550 last week. Nope. They ran the 750.
Yeah.
So that's higher speed down the straightaways. And Nashville's corners are not wide. You've got to slow down at a pretty decent rate to be able to make the apex of the corner. Trust me, I know from doing the iRacing simulation, it's pretty tough.
Well, and if you want to put it in a more simple term, if you go back and check out the Amazon Prime coverage at the very beginning of the race, and they showed, I can't remember whose car it was, but they were showing them going into turn number 1, and boy, those brake rotors were glowing bright red.
Carson Hocevar.
Thank you. I couldn't remember which car it was. But yeah, they were heating these things up pretty good. And then you have to figure out, there's a fine balance here.
Yeah.
Between making sure that you have enough air coming into those brake ducts to cool those brakes off, but you don't want to get it to the point where it overcools them, and then you're going from really, really hot to really, really cold.
I've only had it happen one time to me, but I've had a cracked rotor happen.
Yeah.
And it's not fun.
So, Ross Chastain was not that lucky. One of his right front brake rotor exploded on his number 1 Chevrolet. Some of the pieces of that rotor flew off into the stands And more than one fan dealt with some minor injuries. This week in interviews, Chastain said that he and the team are looking for one fan in particular that he heard about. Chastain said, quote, "When my brake rotor exploded, a kid got hit with a piece and had to get some stitches. So we're reaching out to him now. We're trying to find him. We want to get a hold of him, see if he's okay, send him some stuff." Word is that he went, got stitches, came back, watched the end of the race. That's what I was told. So we're trying to find him. It's crazy. Think about getting hit with a piece of brake rotor from a race car. I can't imagine that, because not only did it cut, it might have burned him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. Because them brake rotors are not, they're in excess of 1,000 degrees at that point where it broke.
Yeah. Ouch. Yee. Ouch. Then there's the other part of Trackhouse Racing, the kind of the better part of it, the better news. I mean, it is kind of cool that they are willing to go and find this kid. I think that's great. But the other side of it is they've got that third car, fourth car, whatever it is, Project 91. And they put it out on occasion. We haven't really heard much about this car this year. It's back.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to attempt to qualify and probably will get in, because I haven't heard yet whether or not the field at Coronado Naval Air Base is at 40 or about to go over.
I don't think they're gonna have 40.
Okay, so that should leave them plenty of room to be able to get into the race. Sponsorship coming from Qualcomm Technologies. If you remember the idea behind the Project 91 race car, it's Justin Marks' idea of trying to take superstars from other well-known motorsport series and put them in a Cup Series car for a one-off race. So who's the celebrity driver coming in from another series? Former Haas F1 driver Kevin Magnussen.
I don't know if I want to hold my thought on this or not.
All right. Well,
I'll let you
what.
finish. I'll let you finish.
I'll give you the chance to capture your thoughts. How's that?
Go ahead.
For the resume, Magnussen has been out of Formula One for a couple of years, but he is still racing. He's in the World Endurance Championship series over there in Europe, and is currently on the team that's leading the points. So he has adjusted to sports cars very well. In addition, he has one start in the NTT IndyCar series. That happened at Road America with Arrow McLaren Racing, where he actually led 6 laps of that race before he suffered a mechanical issue that ended his day early. So Magnussen has shown he can drive other types of cars, but you still have to get into this car and learn the idiosyncrasies of a Cup Series car. Kevin Magnussen driving the Project 91. It's going to be fun to watch. Of that, there's no doubt.
Yeah,
and he's going to have a good car, because Project 91 doesn't put junk out there.
No, the car is going to be good. There's no doubt about that.
All right.
But with his background that he has within World Endurance Challenge cars and other sports cars, dare I say, on these radio airwaves, this may be another Shane Van Gisbergen.
Oh, okay. So you're not worried that he's going to be an anchor. You're thinking he's actually going to go out there and raise some eyebrows.
Because I saw last night before I fell asleep on social media, Project 91 put on their social media of him, coming into Trackhouse at Mooresville. I mean, not Mooresville, Concord this week. I think it was Thursday. And when he got in there, he was immediately underneath the hood looking in the cockpit, looking at every single detail of that car, soaking everything in already. Kind of similar to what Shane Van Gisbergen did when he came in and won Chicago right off the bat.
Yeah. He wants to find out what his office looks like.
I've got this sinking feeling that he's going to be another Shane Van Gisbergen. Here's why. Because the familiarity with this style of car, fendered car, even though he's got primarily an open wheel background, his familiarity with it, 1. 2, you're going to, I'm going to call it a facility. I'm not even calling it a track.
Well, you're
I'm
right.
calling it a facility.
You're right.
That nobody has been on.
True.
That nobody knows what's going to do. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Whatnot.
Yeah. the personality of which we don't know because you're constantly going, part of it's going to be a runway, part of it's going to be asphalt, part of it's going to be probably concrete. Your transitions there. We don't know how bumpy it's going to be. All of that stuff.
Jeff Gluck put on his social media, he got some video and some still shots of the actual backstretch area that's actually going to be on the bay. On the bay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I wonder which car's going to go sailing first. Nah, nobody's going to go sailing.
No.
Unless they absolutely move the concrete barriers to the point that it goes into the bay. Nobody's going to go sailing.
No.
Okay? The parts where this backstretch is, the asphalt on there reminds me of old Atlanta.
Oh, old Atlanta.
Old Atlanta.
Which, don't get us wrong, the drivers loved it, but it was so old that the G-forces that the cars were putting on it were causing it to break apart.
I hope Goodyear brings the biggest sponge of a tire that they have.
Do it. Bring the stickiest thing you can find. Let's have a good time. I like it. You may have seen a video or heard the story of a guy who bought a Craftsman Truck Series truck and tried, when he got pulled over by police, tried to pass it off as an S10 dressed up, but being street legal. Not. If you've ever wanted to own your own NASCAR car, there is actually a chance for you to do it. They do warn that it is not street legal. Details next.
Don't touch that dial. The Championship Racing Network will be right back.
Homeowners, Ryan Jennings here with Hometown Roofing and Restorations. You work hard all week. The last thing you want on a Saturday morning is a roofer pounding on your door and setting the dog off. We all know your roof is jacked. We created a free online roof estimator. Just visit htsroofers.com, plug in your address, and get a quote for a brand new roof in 15 seconds or less. No door knocking, just fast, easy pricing from the comfort of your home. And with up to 6 financing options available, we have solutions for any budget. Visit htsroofers.com today. That's htsroofers.com. Fuel only, fuel only. Go, go, go. We're back to the Championship Racing Network.
Yes, indeed we are, and you can be a part of it as well by calling or texting 205-545-9950. John Bird's going to be monitoring the text line, and we'll be screening your phone calls as well. So if you do want to be a part of the show, you certainly can. You can also be part of the show by going on to the YouTube pages. We are on Real Talk 99.5 on YouTube, obviously. We're also on CRN Live on YouTube, and that is where you can see some of the other pictures and such where producer John Myers is, and we're involved in chats over there as well. So all kinds of good stuff going on and ways for you to be a part of the show. So teased it, and there's a video that has been circulating around. You might be able to find it still fairly easily. A guy got a hold, somehow, of an old Craftsman Truck Series truck, got to the point where he put that thing out on the road, tried literally to pass it off as a legal road-going truck. When he got pulled over, which inevitably he was going to be, he basically said it was just a really, really dressed-up S10 pickup.
I don't think S10 pickups would have. It's very few. You'll have somebody that'll try it, but very few S10 pickups have large V8s in them.
Yeah, and ones that really don't have any mufflers. Just saying. Spoiler alert, I'll go ahead and let you know the end of it. It doesn't go well for him. But if you have always wanted to own your own NASCAR ride, well, Hendrick Motorsports is working with Andrew, who is the title sponsor for that upcoming San Diego Naval Base race. And they're going to give away a Gen 6 racer. Let us remind you, right now they're in Gen 7, so this is the last generation car. Mm-hmm. In this deal, Andrew will also be the primary sponsor on the 24 car for William Byron for 2 races each of the next 3 years. Involved in this, you can enter to win an actual, fully functional, they say, Cup car that was used in the Cup Series at some point in time between 2013 and 2021. It'll be wrapped with Byron's Andrew look that will debut, I know you'll be shocked, at the race in San Diego, where Andrew is the title sponsor. The video that announced the giveaway made sure to mention this car is not street legal, but they say will be proved the winner with an engine that puts out some 630 horsepower, and they say is capable of hitting speeds of 200 miles per hour. You can log on to gear.andrewil, ANDRUIL, gear.andrewil.com, look for the sweepstakes entry, and of course you can choose a cash alternative, which would be $250,000.
Can we take the cash and the car?
Yeah, really. All right, so here's the question. Let's say you're the winner.
I'm rewrapping the car.
Okay.
I'm rewrapping the car.
Fine. Do whatever you want. It's your car at that point in time. What the heck are you going to do with it?
Take it, put it in a shop, and roll it out of the shop and crank it up and just sit there and let it just go. I mean, or unless, I got a few folks I could call, put it on a trailer, take it down I-20. I forgot that highway number, 441, I think. Hang a left on 441, run to that little intersection, hang a left, and go to Darlington. Go play a little bit, Russell.
Just throwing it out there. I mean, yeah, that's really what you got to do. I mean, you're going to have to trailer it, obviously. Again, not road legal.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
Oh, he's got ideas. He's got ideas.
It's unrestricted.
Yeah. 630 horses.
630. I know how to lay a spoiler back on the car.
Okay.
Talladega, anyone? I'll have duct tape to tape off the front of the engine to where it'll run in Q trim. Gorilla tape works wonders.
Could be fun. Could be fun to find out. No doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
Good news here. 30th annual Kyle Petty Charity Ride Across America is finished. It went from May 1st to May 9th. It mirrored the first one. Okay. The very first Kyle Petty Charity Ride Across America started in Sonoma, California, wine country, went all the way across the country, wrapped up in Charlotte, North Carolina. This one basically did almost the exact same route and raised some $2.7 million for the Victory Junction Camp in Randallwood, North Carolina. And, I've always said, if somehow I could become this multi-millionaire and wanted to give money to great causes, warriors, our veteran causes that are proven, is one of those. Victory Junction Camp is definitely one of those.
There's a gentleman that I know that's he lives in Woodstock, Georgia, that he and his wife every year take part in this.
Oh yeah.
He's an older gentleman, but he owns a large trucking company that's in Woodstock, and he has his bike shipped to wherever the starting point is, and then they will ride back to wherever points they ride to.
Yeah.
He's all, every time I talk with him, he says that thing is absolutely a phenomenal event and a thing to be a part of.
I bet.
He says it's
I bet
unreal.
it is. I bet it is. So congratulations to them. Unfortunately, we have to talk the flip side, from the good news to the sad news, and bad at the same point in time. And I hate to do this, but at the same point in time, we want to honor the man. The passing of NASCAR Hall of Famer Ned Jarrett. Ooh, man, this is tough. Ned Jarrett, born October 12, 1932, in Conover, North Carolina, introduced to cars at a very young age by his father, who actually let him drive the family car to church at the ripe old age of 9 on a regular basis. But he was 20 before he got into his first race that happened at the historical Hickory Motor Speedway. It was in a Ford he co-owned with his brother-in-law, John, and despite a top 10 finish, his father looked at Ned and said, "I'll let you work on race cars. I don't want you driving them." So he figured out a workaround. He began to enter races using that brother-in-law's name. His father found out because Ned actually won a race at Hickory Motor Speedway, got his picture in the paper, and his dad happened to see it. So his dad looked at Ned and said, "Hey, if you're actually going to race, at least use your own name." And he was off. Under his own name, he ended up as the Hickory Track Champion in 1955, moved up to the NASCAR Late Model Sportsman Series, the equivalent of today's O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Placed second in points in 1956, won titles in it in 1957 and 58. And then he bet on himself, literally. Did a deal with Junior Johnson in 1959 to buy a race car from him at the big old price of $2,000. Race prepared car from Junior Johnson for $2,000. Thing about it is, he didn't have the money in the bank. So he played around a little bit. He didn't cut the check and give it to Junior Johnson until Friday night after the banks had closed. And then entered 2 races that weekend and won enough and covered the check. That is betting on yourself right there.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
1960, went on to win 5 races and went on to win the series title in 1961. 22 top 5 finishes, 34 top 10s, and 46 races that year, but strangely enough, only 1 win. But in 1961, after the 1961 season, Jarrett switched from Chevrolet back to Ford, sold the Chevrolet to Wendell Scott. Might have given Wendell Scott the best equipment he'd ever had at that point.
Yep. I remember this story.
And it was things like that that got Ned Jarrett the nickname Gentleman Ned.
Yep.
He was that kind of a guy. 1964, joined in with Buddy Long as his team owner, and with full Ford support to the team, Jarrett became a superstar. Won 15 times in 64, just missed out on the title, losing it to Richard Petty. Next year, claimed another 13 wins, got a title that year. Then came the 1965 Southern 500. So many odd things happening. Cale Yarborough ends up in a wreck, flies over the guardrail, flips over some half a dozen times. With 44 laps to go, the leaders both experienced motor troubles. Fred Lorenzen goes to the garage. Darrell Dieringer nurses his car at a slow pace. It allowed Jarrett to get the lead. Dieringer ended up nursing the car to the end, finished 3 laps down, but in 3rd place. 3 laps behind 2nd place. Jarrett goes on to the win by the largest margin in NASCAR history. One could not imagine this happening now. Jarrett's margin of victory over 2nd place, officially, 14 laps and 2 car lengths, measured out to 19.25 miles. The gap from 1st to 2nd. NASCAR doesn't allow that no more.
No, not even close.
No.
Not even close.
Jarrett ended up retiring from racing at the age of 34 in 1966 after Ford, despite winning the title with Jarrett that season, decided to withdraw from racing. Jarrett tried real estate and some other business ventures, but racing called him back in the form of broadcasting. He joined the Motor Racing Network in 1978, got the chance to interview President Ronald Reagan in 1984, flew into what became Richard Petty's final and 200th Cup Series win that year. He remained part of the Motor Racing Network until 2009, not necessarily going to the races, but doing some sort of a show or special features for them once he stopped going to the track for them. But he also worked on the television side. He joined CBS in 1979 to be part of that first ever flag-to-flag coverage of a Cup Series race, that famed Daytona 500. First, he joined them as a pit reporter, then moved up to the booth as an analyst in 1984, stayed with them until 2000 when CBS lost NASCAR rights. But he also worked for ESPN from 1988 to 2000, had a chance to call his son Dale's first win in 1991 and his son's Daytona 500 win in 1993, the Dale and Dale Show.
Mm-hmm.
For all intents, though, that was the end of his time on TV. It was 2000, save for a couple of one-off races. 2007, he was a fill-in. Then again in 2015, part of the first ever Cup Series throwback weekend at Darlington, he returned alongside Ken Squire to call part of the Southern 500 that year and did so again in 2016 and 2017. The man racked up an amazing amount of honors. He's inducted into no less than 12 Motorsports Hall of Fames, including the Motorsports Hall of Fame itself in 1997 and in 2011, the NASCAR Hall of Fame. He's four-time winner of the Mike Myers Award, or the Meyer Brothers Award, NMPA Hall of Fame member from 1972, Talladega Walk of Fame 1997, and of course was named one of NASCAR's 50 and 75 greatest drivers. Ned was married twice, 3 children, one from his first marriage, the other 2 kids from his second marriage. That included Dale. He and that second wife, Martha, remained married from 1956 until he passed away, which happened at his home in Newton, North Carolina, due to natural causes on Thursday. Ned Jarrett, you'll be missed. Ned Jarrett was 93 years old. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of Ned Jarrett. Hour 1 in the books. We'll return with hour number 2 right after we take this break here on the Championship Racing Network.
If you're thinking of retiring, call David Ernest, toll free, 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE. Or visit his website at retirewithernest.com. David Ernest is your money man with a money plan. You can throw your retirement out the window or do the smart thing and call David Ernest, 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
I'm David Ernest, and I approve this message.
Homeowners, Ryan Jennings here with Hometown Roofing and Restorations. You work hard all week. The last thing you want on a Saturday morning is a roofer pounding on your door and setting the dog off. We all know your roof is jacked. We created a free online roof estimator. Just visit htsroofers.com, plug in your address, and get a quote for a brand new roof in 15 seconds or less. No door knocking, just fast, easy pricing from the comfort of your home. And with up to 6 financing options available, we have solutions for any budget. Visit htsroofers.com today. That's htsroofers.com.
WZRR Birmingham, Talk 99.5, and Talk995.com.
4 tires and 2 cans of fuel, and we're back to more racing action on the Championship Racing Network.
Welcome into the show. Hour number 2 underway with Steve West, Matt Nicholson, producer John Myers on CRN Live on YouTube, and producer John Bird here at the flagship station, Talk 99.5. You can be a part of the show as well. You can call in 205-545-9950, or you can text in. John Bird monitoring the text line for us as well. Portions of the show being brought to you by the fine folks at Cat and Bird Winery, open today, starting at noon, going until 6 o'clock. All kinds of great stuff going on all the time over there. They've recently done Father's Day out there. They're coming up with a girls' night out here fairly soon. They generally have things like cookie decorating classes. They got line dancing classes that go on out there as well. And last Thursday night, just 2 nights ago, I was out there hosting music trivia as I do first Thursday of every month. Next month, it'll be a little different. They already had something on the first Thursday, which would be July 2nd. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be, for me, Wednesday, July 1st that I'll be hosting music trivia out there. But you want to talk about perfect weather on Thursday. Had that front move through, no humidity, temperatures dropping down from the 80s into the upper 70s by the time we were done. It was just a fantastic night. 19 teams came out Thursday night.
Wow.
It's fantastic. Had a great time. Hope to see y'all again on Wednesday, July 1st. Check out and keep up with Cat and Bird Winery on social media as well, because, again, there's constantly something going on. And if you've never been there, great location out in Chelsea, not that far away, 11661 Old Highway 280 in Chelsea, so just off the beaten path, but not that far that they'll bring a food truck out there, or you can bring your own food. They got a great selection of wines. They've got wine slushy, so you can get something cold if you want. They've also got a selection of beers. So it's really, really good stuff. Cat and Bird Winery, thank them very much for sponsoring us. And a couple of weeks ago, lady came in, said she heard about us right here, and the first thing she wanted to do was find my wife. She was calling for my wife's name. My wife, Karen, works out there. She'll be working today. She won't be there until noon, though. So thank you very much for saying that. And if you do go, tell them you heard about it here on CRN. Get a discount on your total order.
I tell you what, Cletus McFarland cannot catch a break in his practice session. My goodness.
It seems like it's feast or famine for him, doesn't it?
Yeah, he got stuck 3 wide on the outside coming out of 2 in practice. The practice and qualifying is not live on television. It's actually through the Fox One app.
Okay.
They're doing it this morning, and he got somebody. They stuck him 3 wide, and the air shoved him, and he brushed the wall, and the right front tire went down and got a little bit of right side damage. But if you look at what happened yesterday with him, the same thing happened, and he put the car on the pole in the ARCA race.
Well, there you go.
So maybe it'll be a good look for him.
Yeah,
but
you never know.
I'm gonna say it here. I don't
Sure,
care.
Go for it.
You can't fault him for trying. He's not trying to rush. He's not trying to be flashy or showy. I mean, he's out there digging and he's out there hustling and pushing like everybody else is doing. But if he gets one little break, he's going to break through.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's not the only on-track action going on. Formula One just started their qualifying for tomorrow's race at Monaco. So we'll keep an eye on that. And you talked about the NHRA. They've been out there. They're doing their qualifying as well. You noted that there was already a husband and wife matchup there between Tony Stewart and Leah Pruitt, and Leah basically torched him.
That's an understatement. In Q2, yeah, that's the definite understatement. She beat him to the line by 300s when he beat her off the line by 300.
Yeah, that's cooking.
Yep.
And it's, for all intents and purposes, the same equipment. I get it. It's technically 2 different teams, but I can guarantee you Tony Stewart Racing has a lot to do with the setup on that elite racing car that Tony Stewart's in.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with it, but has Cadillac found their speed?
Okay. That's a nice tease. Since we're about ready to get into Formula One news, go ahead. What do you got?
There is right now, in the early stages of Q1, right now, the top two that just went 1-2, the Haas twins are 1-2 right now.
Okay.
Sergio Perez is sitting 4th. Bottas is sitting 6th.
Okay.
And 19 cars have taken time.
That says something. Okay.
It's-
Who knows?
Improvements there.
Yeah, and you know, I follow both Cadillac and Haas F1 on social media. I didn't see anything from Cadillac yesterday after they had done a couple of practices. Haas F1 put out there that I think it was the second practice session. The two of them, I forget which order it was, but I want to say it was probably Ollie Behrman 11th, and that would have put Esteban Ocon 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing performance. We're not seeing earth-shattering performance, but we're seeing performance out of them. It would be nice to see that Cadillac team start to jump up and make some waves. It really would.
Okay. People are starting to show their cards now. Laps are being really, really laid down now.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. McLaren, by the way, this weekend in Monaco, hitting a pretty big milestone. The team is going to start their 1,000th Formula One Grand Prix all time. Broken out something of a special look for the occasion. Still that papaya orange that McLaren is addicted to, along with a whole lot of black. But they got they put a big 1,000 on the car there. So once they now officially hit that mark, that makes them only the second team in F1 history to get to 1,000 races, and that follows, of course, Ferrari. Ferrari's been in Formula One basically since the beginning. They hit that number back in 2020. In addition to the special look for the two drivers, the team has invited every single living former McLaren racing driver to join them on the grid to commemorate the occasion, which, by the way, got started in Monaco as well. McLaren's first ever official F1 race, Monaco Grand Prix 1966.
That would be something that I would like to see live.
It would be really, really cool.
That'd be cool.
And again, CRN Live has it up. I'm looking at it somewhat delayed, but it's not terrifically different. It's really the engine cowl area that has the big number 1,000. That's the main difference in that look of the car. But I like the fact that they're at least commemorating it.
Yeah.
Again, silly season, something we talked about at length in the latest edition of Cross Flags. We really only talked about it NASCAR-wise. And the main reason why is because really nothing else has come out in the world of IndyCar or Formula One, at least as of Tuesday. But at least we now know this. There is one seat that will not be changing hands. Charles Leclerc and Ferrari have come to terms on a contract extension. This is the second contract extension for him. He last re-upped with Ferrari ahead of the 2024 season. And both sides say that his future with the team was largely going to be based upon his performance beginning this season, the 2026 season, with these new regulations. Other than Mercedes running away with everything, first and second in the points, third and fourth in the points are the Ferrari twins.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they feel like he has done more than enough. He and the team responded well enough. Even though they have yet to claim a win, they got podium finishes for either Leclerc or his teammate Lewis Hamilton, it seems like in almost every race. So they're happy with it, and they're going to keep him. Here comes the question now, and this is no disrespect to Lewis Hamilton, but this is a situation where Fernando Alonso as well, they're getting up there towards the higher end of the age range where you would normally expect Formula One drivers to start to head off and do other things or retire.
Yeah. They're borderline close.
How much longer is Lewis Hamilton in a Ferrari? Because he's no longer, I don't think, with a team where he can say, I'm going to be here as long as if I want to be here until I'm 65, I can. Ferrari's not that kind of team.
Oh, no. I'm going to say, considering how Ferrari has picked up and improved, let's say it that way.
Okay.
I'm going to say he is there until he gets title number 8.
All right. We'll have to see a little bit more improvement out of them, number one. And number two, we need to see a consistency over the course of the season.
True.
Because the last couple of years, it seems like Ferrari has come out, and they've been hot, they've been good, but as the year rolls on, it seems like they cool off.
Mm-hmm. True.
They can't have that.
No.
Not in this day and age.
Nope.
Not in this day and age. Then there's Liberty Media, commercial rights holders for Formula One around the world. They are the entity in charge with working With potential venues to hold races, they've announced the latest contract extension. This one regards one of the U.S.-based races. Happens to be the Las Vegas Grand Prix. This is the one that you're least thrilled about amongst the 3 Formula One races here in the United States. This is a fairly long street course, uses a pretty long stretch of the famed Las Vegas Strip, first showed up on the F1 slate for the 2023 year. This thing is set to continue on the schedule through at least 2037. It was announced on Thursday of this week. The original deal covered 2023 through next year, but they got a quick extension through 2032 because Liberty Media is trying to solidify as much as they can for as long as they can. So now, this one covers more than a decade. And even though more and more locations are expressing interest in hosting F1 races in the near future, this locks down or locks out one potential schedule slot. Here's the main difference. And this is where, I don't know whether conflict of interest is the word I'm looking for, but it does in some ways seem that way. As opposed to, say, the other 2 U.S.-based races, either Circuit of the Americas or at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, or for that matter, the overwhelming majority of the other races on the schedule. This race doesn't have a separate promoter working with Formula One and Liberty Media and negotiating the right to put the race on. Instead, Formula One is not only the host, they're the promoter of the event.
And there's your answer.
And that's why they're on the schedule through 2037 at least. Again, I don't have a problem necessarily with them keeping that in-house. NASCAR kind of plays their own promoter. IndyCar kind of plays their own promoter. I get that.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of cases, there are some where we have seen outside promoters come in and help IndyCar.
Mm-hmm.
But Formula One, other than this race, I don't know as they act as host and promoter of any other event. Not that I can think of. I may be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does explain how they ended up getting that long contract extension.
That's true.
FIA and Liberty Media have set a deadline for all the teams to come together on the new for 2027 engine regulations. Good grief, I can't wait for us to stop talking about this. Of course, we started this year with that controversial 50-50 split in power between the internal combustion engine and the hybrid system, which started off the year, and it's already been changed some. For 2027, all new regulations will be coming. FIA and Liberty Media do want input from the teams, and they're hoping to get it before this weekend. Now, the new deadline for the two sides to come to terms on what the new regulations will look like is next weekend. Liberty and the FIA want to meet with and set the figures down on paper and get it voted on, hoping that all the teams will come to a consensus on it so that they can put it down on paper and the teams can begin to work on it. Here's the situation. Of the 11 teams that are out there, 9 of them had agreed on it going into this weekend. Mm-hmm. And then Ferrari and Audi said, we're going to put a hold on it. Okay.
Good job, Fred.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you. But here's the question, or here's the other situation. We're going to sit here and we're going to continue to play with this V6 turbo hybrid powered engine package that they're using in Formula One, and continue to play with all this. Right. But yet you've got FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem saying, I want to get back to V8s. And here, there are two questions there. Number one, are we going to continue with the hybrid system? Or is it just going to be, like it was in the old days, naturally aspirated V8 engine under the cowl, powering those cars? And sounding good, by the way.
The way they are, it's tough to say, but one would hope they go back to the straight naturally aspirated ones.
Yeah,
those are the best sounding ones.
I agree wholeheartedly. And on that note, taking it back to those V8 engines of yesteryear, Mercedes already has said, we've talked about it on the show and on Cross Flags, that they are all for it. Speaking of Ferrari and Audi, they have now chimed in, and they're with Mercedes, basically saying they would welcome going back to V8s with open arms. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing, and we're going to include Cadillac in this. We've noted here on this show 5 of the 6 engine providers, when we include Cadillac, which they say they will have their own engine package, they think by 2028, 2029 at the latest. So if we include them in this number, 5 of the 6 engine providers have the immediate ability to work up a V8 quickly because they already have the blueprints. The exception there, again, as we've talked about, is Honda. They don't have a V8 within the Honda group. Now, technically they do if you look at IMSA.
Oh, yeah.
But is that truly a Honda-built V8?
Yes and no.
Okay.
No being because it doesn't have the Honda, I'm going to call it the Honda stamp on it.
Okay.
But yes being that blueprint being there from the Acura lineage, let's call it that.
All right.
It's still a blueprint there.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22 kind of deal.
Okay, so they could use that as a base, is what you're saying.
That would be a solid baseline. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right,
absolutely.
I mean, it would not be that hard, and we've said this many times. When it comes to engines and different series, IndyCar's still looking for that third engine provider to join Honda and Chevrolet, and we keep looking squarely at Ford because Ford's got the EcoBoost engine, which would be a perfect V6 twin turbo opportunity, but apparently they're not interested. But it just amazes, again, the blueprints are there. It wouldn't be that hard to adjust it to the point where you match the overall size of the engine, 2.4 liter V6 in IndyCar, 1.8?
1.8.
1.8 liter. For some reason, I had it in my head for a second it was 1.6 liter. 1.8 liter V6 in Formula One. You got the blueprint, you got the basics. Now all you got to do is work it out to match the specs.
Yep, that you do. But Ford's more too worried about riding the coattails of Red Bull with what Red Bull's got.
Yeah, I agree. But man, would I love to see them go back to V8s. Naturally aspirated V8s.
Agreed.
I don't care if you make it fuel injected. Doesn't matter to me. In fact, it's almost a guarantee that it would be.
Cadillac just barely missed Q2. I mean, barely missed Q2.
So we're at the end of Q1?
Yes.
Go ahead and fire it off.
The bottom, instead of used to saying the bottom 5 out, now the bottom 7 out.
Yeah, that's true.
Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas, Carlos Sainz, Ollie Behrman.
Ollie Behrman missed.
Sergio Perez missed it by 600s.
Ouch. Ollie Behrman's a surprise to me because he's qualified well.
Esteban Ocon missed too.
Wow. Okay. So there's work to be done.
Yep. There is work to be done.
They're going to start towards the back of the field tomorrow, and on that tight course, that's not the best of things.
Nope.
Speaking of Valtteri Bottas, when he got to Monaco Thursday and met with media, he immediately got hammered with questions about his future at Cadillac and in Formula One. Sprint race, the Canadian Grand Prix showed that his teammate Sergio Perez was lapping at about a second quicker than Bottas was, and it led some to report that his role with Cadillac is already under review. And this is what we can't stand here on this show. You think I'm adamant about this?
And now Steve's turn.
Yeah. Rumors fly all the time. You spend any time at any track, anywhere, any series, you will hear rumors. The question is, who's saying those rumors? And what the heck prompted it, right? So I'm going to take you back to our base rule. And Matt can quote this, and producer John probably will be saying this in the background. We would rather be last on a story and get it right than be first on a story and get it wrong. Because then I have to go to you, our listeners or our viewers, and I have to retract what we said. We'll talk about it more in a minute.
Right back with more on the Championship Racing Network.
Homeowners, Ryan Jennings here with Hometown Roofing and Restorations. You work hard all week. The last thing you want on a Saturday morning is a roofer pounding on your door and setting the dog off. We all know your roof is jacked. We created a free online roof estimator. Just visit htsroofers.com, plug in your address, and get a quote for a brand new roof in 15 seconds or less. No door knocking, just fast, easy pricing from the comfort of your home. And with up to 6 financing options available, we have solutions for any budget. Visit htsroofers.com today. That's htsroofers.com.
Welcome back into the show. Kind of get back into what it was that we had started. Again, rumors fly all the time. It's just the way that it goes. People get to talking, somebody says something, and somebody takes it and maybe stretches it out and runs with it. Or maybe they're just wanting to start something to try and make a name for themselves. We're not with that on this show. Okay? I'm not interested in just doing clickbait. And it's gotten us to the point where it's caused us here on this show, and Matt Nicholson can attest to this, to where we butt heads with certain sanctioning bodies over the fact that we don't have enough clicks. It's because I'm not going to throw out clickbait headlines and rumors just to get somebody to try and click on a story or something that we did.
They pushed the button, but yeah, that's correct.
And I'm not going to tell you which sanctioning body it is, but I'll tell you that their first letter of the sanctioning body starts with NASCAR. We have butted heads with them over the fact that they say we ain't got enough numbers. We've looked at your YouTube page. We've looked at your Facebook page and your X account and all this, and we just don't think you have enough. And then I'll look at some of the people that they have given credentials to, because I do still have access to the media center. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you right now, there's a whole lot of people throwing out a whole lot of clickbait BS. But they happen to have clicks, so they get the credentials.
Bingo.
I don't care. We're going to do this the right way, and to the point where you, our listeners on Talk 99.5, and our viewers on Real Talk 99.5 TV on YouTube and CRN Live on YouTube can trust what it is that we say. And if we are going to get into speculation, and we do from time to time, we specifically tell you up front we're speculating. That way you know. Back to Valtteri Bottas. So the media starts asking questions about his future in Formula One and with Cadillac, and he wasn't having any of it either. He congratulations, by the way, to him for calling out the media on this. When he got asked about it on Thursday, he shot back, quote, "This isn't the first time I faced these kind of rumors. It's a bit of a shame that somebody just makes up complete," edit, "Bravo Sierra. But that's normal in this sport. I know my situation. The team knows my situation. They support me 100%. So that's why, from my side, it was okay in the end." When pressed further about the subject and who might have started the rumors, he replied something that I've noted to some self-important people in sanctioning bodies like NASCAR before. Quote, "Headlines, clicks. That's my theory. I was actually having my morning coffee when I saw the first rumor, and I kind of laughed about it." Be very careful where you get your news, folks. Very, very careful. We take the time on this show. We go through. We vetted certain sources where we get news from. I have some people that I know within the racing world. Matt's got more people that he knows within the racing world than I do. we go through the process of checking and double checking to make sure that these aren't just rumors, that there's some kernel of fact to them. Period.
Or if I hear something from the people that I directly know within the sport, I know it has some validity to it.
Yeah. It's kind of like getting that phone call from somebody claiming to be, your boss, or an email from somebody claiming to be your boss saying, hey, I need you to transfer money from the company account into this account because we need to do this and we need to do it quick. Well, first things first, you're not immediately going to go do that. What you need to do is you need to take the email, set it aside, pick up your phone, call your boss. Did you actually send me the email? Verification.
Here's where I can give some validity to, and a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people don't know this. Some validity to how I know things and when I know things. The ARCA car at Talladega that George Siciliano, better known as Squirrel McNutt, drove. Mm-hmm. Do you happen to have any kind of an inclination of which race car that is still competing to this day, 25 years later?
Wow. Hello.
And the reason I know this information is because when I went to Mid-Ohio a few years ago with a team to spot in the Truck Series race, one of the people that was on the team was a former employee of Rhett Jones Racing.
Oh, okay.
And he basically said that this car is Mark Rhett's baby for a super speedway. He updates the car and has any updates that need to be done to the car done every single year, and he still has the car.
So it's the same basic chassis.
Same basic chassis.
He just changes things like the body and whatever else he needs to do.
Any body changes, any chassis modifications, what need to be done, but this is the same basic chassis that ran in 2001 with Sterling Marlin behind the wheel at Daytona when he made contact with Dale Earnhardt.
Wow.
That car is still running to this day.
That's some pedigree right there. Man.
Very.
There's some history. To other things, the sale of the 24% stake in Alpine to Mercedes has apparently fallen apart, according to Racer.com. Site reports that Mercedes was identified as the preferred bidder by Alpine's parent company, French automaker Renault. The fact that the stake currently held by Otro Capital fell apart is interesting because Renault holds the other 76% and ultimately has final approval or veto power over any deal if it gets to the point where the Otro Capital and the other side, in this case Mercedes, were to have come to terms and put ink to paper. It's understood Otro Capital has that stake in the team bought in 2023 for $900 million US. Valued at a level that Mercedes says is overvalued now, prompting Mercedes to walk away from the negotiating table, and talks are not slated to resume, at least not anytime soon. Otro Capital spokespeople stated that they are still interested in selling, but they're actually in no hurry to do so. We had heard, and again, these are those rumors, but at this point in time, we don't have anything solid, so we can't go by anything other than that. But some people were saying that just from 2023 to this year, Otro Capital has taken that $900 stake and say that they may have it valued at somewhere closer to around $3 million US now. And that's a significant jump if that's the true number.
Very large jump.
And I'm not so certain I wouldn't be like Mercedes and say, you know what, I think you're biting off a little bit more than you can chew.
True.
So I kind of see where they're going with that, if that's the case. We don't know 100% for sure.
Yep.
If you have the EA Sports F1 25 video game for PlayStation 5, Xbox, PC, you can now get a downloaded update called the 2026 Season Pack. What this allows you to do is to now race with either the Audi or the Cadillac team, and it eliminates the Sauber organization because that's what Audi did when they came in. You can also put now all the proper drivers into their proper seats, adds in the Madrid circuit, which means you can race on it before Formula One actually does. This is that road course in Madrid, Spain, that they're going to run on later this year. They've already got it in the game.
That sounds about like what iRacing's done, because next week they're releasing San Diego in iRacing before anybody even touches it.
There you go. Now, if you've been thinking about buying F1 2025, but you haven't, now all you got to do is just select the 2026 season edition when you download it, and that includes the base game and the 2026 season pack. There should be, according to EA Sports spokespeople, no other changes to the game. So if you have already been playing it, you should be able to just add the update and not affect anything you've already been doing, or at least so they say. Mm-hmm. We've seen where bugs get into the system before, and it prompts an entire wipe, and you got to start all over. For some people, me, might not be the worst thing. Just saying.
True.
To the O'Reilly Auto Parts series here, where Nick Sanchez, and I feel for the man, I really do. He's been probably one of the most hard luck guys here over the last year or so. He's got a win in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series to his credit, and that is within the last year. But even though he got the win in the Big Machine Racing Ride last year, got them into the playoffs, hey, remember those? He lost the ride at the end of the year. Somebody brought a check.
A doctor brought a check.
So then he joins in with AM Racing.
Which was a joke.
Yeah. The team ended up skipping the Rockingham race earlier this year. And then we didn't hear much from them until they said, you know what? Yeah, we're done. We're going to shut it down. And I was wondering about that too, because again, in the offseason, AM Racing was trying to sell, right? To a team that has operations in the Arca Menard series. And then that fell apart through the offseason, and AM Racing said, yeah, we'll give it a go. But man, when they said they pulled out of Rockingham, I went, ooh, because that raised some big red flags to me. And sure enough, like we said, a couple of weeks later, we got the news. They're closed. And it left Nick Sanchez going, but what about me?
Yeah.
Well, we now know a little bit of something. He signed a multi-race deal with with Peterson, not Nick Peterson, with Peterson Racing to drive their number 87 Chevrolet. This is a deal where he and Austin Green are going to split the duties through the remainder of the year. Sanchez is set to drive at Pocono, Chicagoland, Atlanta, and Indy at least. More races are possible depending on how well he does. Green comes to Peterson Racing this year, supposedly, as a full-time racer, but as a road course specialist. He's got 2 top 10s for the season so far this year, expressed a little bit of disappointment about not being the full-time driver of the racer for the remainder of the year, but in a statement said he was welcoming Sanchez and reaffirmed his commitment to Doug Peterson and the team. His next races will be coming up at San Diego and Sonoma, which, correct me if I'm wrong, those are back-to-back weekends?
Correct.
Okay. So now all of a sudden it is, who do we decide to put in the seat where?
I don't agree with this.
I'm with you because there needs.
But the reason I don't agree with it is because, yes, even though his primary background is road course racing,
right?
But Austin Green has improved a pretty good bit on the ovals.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's
again,
showing the improvement.
A couple of top 10s, and we're not talking about road courses necessarily. I mean, he's becoming a well-rounded racer.
He's got 1 oval top 10 and 1 road course top 10.
And the other part of it that gets me, and I'm looking at this because I have been in a management standpoint, and I'm looking at it from a continuity aspect. You brought in this driver to be your full-time racer for the entire year. Now you've got to go from Green to Sanchez, which means your crew chief has to have the ability to communicate not only with Green, but with Sanchez.
Yeah.
And that'll change from race to race.
Yep.
His driving styles, those driving styles are different. Mm-hmm. It messes up the continuity of the 87 car. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy for Nick Sanchez. I'm glad that he's got a ride. It's something of a parachute. It's not a golden parachute, but at least it's a parachute that doesn't leave him splattered on the ground somewhere.
Well,
but at the same time, I don't know as this is the best move for Peterson Racing as a whole.
It's not for the team because that breaks that continuity and consistency of having that one person in the seat.
Yeah.
But when you go back to look at it, I'm sure Scott Borchetta is probably kicking itself right now because that 48 car has fell off the radar this year
really
versus what it has last year.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm just going to say it. If there is one owner of a team that is within the O'Reilly Auto Parts series that's not Hendrick, Gibbs, or Earnhardt, that's one that does not have an issue with financial backing.
True.
Because when you are the president and CEO of Big Machine Record Group in Nashville,
Who also has a vodka brand?
that has a distillery and a vodka, you do not have that problem.
No, you don't. But what you do have is a driver problem.
But you got an eye doctor that his claim to fame was being a finalist in the peak drive for the seat competition that Michael Waltrip Racing had years ago. Remember them? And you're an eye surgeon, and you just got a Civil 4 or whatever the heck the name of that company is that he does stuff for.
Oh, yeah.
That says, hell, if you get that car, we'll give you X amount of money. When he could have probably got the seat himself.
Probably.
It doesn't add up.
Yep, I agree. So either way, while it's good news for Sanchez, things for Cletus McFarland not so good at Nashville last Saturday night. Started off well. To the back of the pack, started 38th, but began to work his way up through the field methodically. Still went a lap down just before the end of stage one. Not, though, without necessarily Jesse Love, his RCR teammate, trying to help him out. Love was actually the guy who put him a lap down, tried to help him by slowing down a little bit, but at some point in time, he just said, you know what, I can't do this, and continue to remain in the lead, so he had to go ahead and pass him. And then Cletus ended up spinning, trying to remain on the lead car, or at least the lead car one lap down. So he ends up stage 1 in 36, drops another lap down during stage 2. Team works on the damaged front splitter from that spin that we just talked about because he went into the infield, caught it on the grass, did some free-form landscaping. Then in the third stage, went down another lap, but in his first attempt at a green flag pit stop, he took the jack out of the pit stall with him. That's a penalty.
That's not on him, though.
I agree, but it is still a penalty on the driver, and while he attempted to serve the pass-through penalty, coming down onto pit road, spun the car again. Finished the race 36, 6 laps down. He still has learning to do, but let's go back to what you were talking about. Again, he's doing this the right way. He understands he's got to take his lumps, and those are the kind of lumps we're talking about.
Everybody has taken those same lumps.
Yeah, but
doesn't
he's
matter
learning.
Doesn't matter who you are.
But he's learning.
Yes.
And it is interesting to note, the number of races that he's been in, that was his first green flag pit stop attempt?
Yes, because there wasn't any at Rockingham.
That's wild.
But, I mean, the way the transition is at Nashville, getting off the track, going to pit road is tough.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we were there a couple of years ago for the IndyCar Championship race. We saw some cars get unsettled in the IndyCar race.
I've been there several times for cup and truck races, and it's a trick to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a trick to it, even doing it in the iRacing platform.
Yeah.
When you're doing green flag pit stops.
You got to hit that apron just right.
Because he admitted, he said where I made the mistake is when I got on the brakes and was downshifting, I had the wheels turned and the car wheel hopped.
Yeah.
That's a mental mistake.
It is. Yeah. Again, I'm rooting for him. I think he's good for NASCAR. I agree 100% with Steve O'Donnell and everybody that's currently up in the hierarchy of NASCAR. He is good for the sport of stock car racing because he brings an excitement to this series that we haven't necessarily seen the last couple of years. I'm not trying to throw Chase Elliott under the bus. I get it. He's the most popular driver in NASCAR, as voted on by the fans. But if you watch Chase Elliott in a post-race interview, while he's gotten better, he's not the most engaging guy.
No.
And we just don't have that Dale Earnhardt, that Jeff Gordon, that Tony Stewart, or even to the point where it's Jimmy Johnson, where you have that personality that's just driving the sport forward. We don't have that person. We don't have a Dale Earnhardt Jr. right now. And that's what this series needs. It needs a Dale Earnhardt Jr. It needs a face of the sport. Cletus McFarland could be that guy. Could.
That potential is there.
But again, the learning curve, he needs to be able to do it on the track. There's where the learning curve is.
And it's slowly improving.
Agreed.
It is slowly improving.
And again, he's not rushing himself, and there's no owner that's really forcing this upon anybody.
Yeah.
As opposed to some other drivers that we could and have talked about in the past.
Yep.
Where they're kind of pressing the issue and saying, let's get you up into that level where they're in over their head. Let the talent prove where you need to be.
Yep.
Stay right here for more on the Championship Racing Network. Fuel only. Go, go, go. We're back to the Championship Racing Network.
Welcome back in. Final segment of today's show. We're still looking at a couple of things here. Qualifying just got underway for the Truck Series at Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Q2 for Formula One is about midway through, give or take.
4 minutes and 50 seconds left.
Okay, so we'll come back to that here right around 10 till 10 Central Time and let you know who's advancing on to Q3. But let's switch ourselves, talk a little bit about IndyCar here, and I get this. Alex Palou has come in and he has taken over IndyCar like a wildfire. And that little deal about moving from Chip Ganassi over to Arrow McLaren has really ruffled some people and the wrong way. So I get it. But whether you like it or not, this guy is the current king of IndyCar.
And then some.
Think about it. The man's a four-time champion who is winning a lot. And now he is moving up the ladder on the all-time IndyCar wins list. He was knocking on the door of the top 20 of that list coming into the season. Now he has barged through it. Last Sunday's win in Detroit marked career win number 23 in IndyCar, and that breaks the three-way tie that he was in with 1989 champion Emerson Fittipaldi and Tony Bettenhausen. His next win will be number 24. That gets him into another three-way tie, this time including Bobby Rahal, three-time IndyCar champion, and Ted Horn. Now, if we extrapolate this out and say he's going to be so dominant that he wins all of the 10 races that are left in the schedule. Do I think he's going to do it? No. But let's just throw it out there, just for the sake of giggles. So including this weekend, 10 more races. So he could jump into the 30s if, again, he just absolutely dominates the remainder of the year. Even though if he gets up to 30 wins, think about some of the names that he'll pass. So we talked about win number 24, Bobby Rahal, Ted Horn. Win number 25 would be a tie with Gordon Johncock. Win number 26 would tie him with Johnny Rutherford. Sitting at 29 is Rick Mears.
Pretty stout.
Now, to get into the top 10, he needs 33 wins right now. And what I mean by right now is because that would tie him with Joseph Newgarden for 10th. But Joseph Newgarden's also an active driver, so that's a moving target. And, of course, the all-time wins leader is the legend, A.J. Foyt. He's got 67 in his storied IndyCar career. So I'm not going to say that that's out of the realm of possibility if Alex Palou does indeed make IndyCar his career, which I think he has said now he's punted on the idea of moving to Formula One. Mm-hmm. So it looks like IndyCar is going to be his career. But there's also the question, can this kind of dominance be maintained to the point where he could come anywhere near 60, much less 67?
I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes.
I mean, you know this better than I do, and I know it. Racing is a cyclical thing. Even though you're on top for a couple of years, in this case, enough to win, 4 titles in 5 years? Mm-hmm. Am I right? There's no guarantee you're going to be able to keep that dominance because every other team is working to be the best, and that means they're working to beat you.
Right.
And that means they will catch up.
They will. It's very, very cyclical because you're not guaranteed any level of dominance for any period of time.
No. And in fact, these days, the run of dominance that he's got is all that more impressive because generally it doesn't last this long.
That is true, but when you've got the level of equipment and stuff that Chip Ganassi has,
true,
you have that aspect of being able to maintain it longer. Mm. But it's still cyclical.
Yeah.
Because other teams can catch up that quick.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm looking at 2 teams. One is the team that he spurned, and that's Arrow McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
The other team I'm looking at is Team Penske. Because they have been a very, very good team for a very long period of time. And they just seem to be having a down year. And it's not just in NASCAR. It is a little bit in IndyCar, too, this year.
Yeah, because Newgarden and McLaughlin have not even been on the radar.
Not really. And one of my bold predictions this year was the fact that Joseph Newgarden was going to be a contender for the title because he was going to dominate all the oval races. He hasn't even done that.
We'll see what happens later on.
Shot that bold prediction right out the window, didn't it?
Yeah, because the mental mistake he made at Indianapolis was
almost inexcusable.
Wild.
Almost inexcusable, truth be told. Then there's Ed Carpenter Racing. They're looking for some stability. They got some a little bit. They announced that they have come to terms with Christian Rasmussen on a contract extension. He'll be in that race car through the 2028 season at least. Now, Rasmussen was a guy that a lot of people were looking at when it came to silly season. He was one of the pending free agents to watch coming into this year. ECR wanted to give the heralded young driver a chance, and I say heralded, think about this. He won the 2023 Indy Next Championship, was brought up to IndyCar by Ed Carpenter Racing the very next year, 2024. Got his first win last year in Milwaukee. 2026, though, has not been kind to him. And I don't think it's the driver's fault, truth be told.
Nope.
But right now, with everything that's gone on, whether he's gotten into situations that are not of his making or whether it's been a bad car, he's sitting next to last in the standings amongst the 25 drivers.
Yep.
And that's a tough pill to take.
Very.
But they have enough faith in him to give him a contract extension through 2028. Now they just got to work on getting the cars. And maybe a little bit of that luck turning. Because, again, like I said, sometimes he's gotten into situations that were not of his own making.
Yep. Very, very, very true.
So he is a very talented kid. Wish the best for him.
He's just snake bit.
Yeah.
That's the saying. He's snake bit.
Yeah, I agree. Dale Coyne Racing driver Romain Grosjean, the former F1 driver, noted on social media this week that following an incident with Alexander Rossi during the Detroit Grand Prix, he had to undergo some surgery on his right hand, to the point where they placed a screw on the pinky side of that right hand to stabilize it. In the same post, get this, in the same post, he noted he's cleared to drive this weekend. If I go into surgery and I have a screw inserted into my right hand, I don't want to do jack, much less get behind a wheel of a race car that doesn't have power steering with a screw inserted in my right hand. That just sounds like it's going to be painful.
But at the same time.
But a racer's a racer. I get this.
At the same time, when that adrenaline kicks in.
You don't feel it?
Nope.
What? Not that you've had a screw put into your hand. But in your experience, what's your equivalent? What's the best equivalency that you can make that you just said, you know what? I'm powering through this and I'm going to race anyway.
2009 was going into the season with 3 races left. I had won enough that year and had enough of a points lead to where the third to the last race, all I had to do was start.
Okay.
And the title was mine.
Okay.
Well, the week before, I'd started. Seasons were changing, and I started feeling stuffy and congested, and whichever word you want to go for it.
Sure.
Well, after the race that weekend before, it really hit me on that Monday. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to power through this and just see. Well, Tuesday, it wouldn't get no better. Fever was high. I was like, I've got to go to the doctor because when you see that thermometer, you check your temperature and the thermometer is over 102, you go to the doctor.
You do. Don't tough it out, people.
No. Because we can see what happens when you try. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, got there and said you got the flu. Type A. Great. So I called. Luckily, everything went great the week before. Car was clean. Car was actually already on the trailer, buttoned up, ready to go for the next race. I called Dad. I said, we got a problem. I just got diagnosed with the flu. Huh. Okay. Well, just see how you feel by Friday. Let's just go from there. Well, I felt a little bit better Friday, but I was not 100%. I was probably 30%.
Oh, okay.
I was probably 30%.
I was looking for like a 50, 60%. No.
I was probably 30. I said, look, we're going to do this right here. Because I wanted what came with the championship.
Sure.
I wanted to seal it up. I didn't want to have to fight 2 more weeks. I wanted it locked down, sealed up, while all I could do was just go play and have fun.
There you go.
Got to the guy. I said, look, I'm going to drive straight to the track if you get the car there. I've got my gear. You don't have to load nothing up or you don't run the risk of catching anything. Mm-hmm. So, excuse me. So I got down there, got signed in, and I told the lady that was doing the sign-in was the chief scorer as well. I said, look, I'm not going to qualify. I'm going to start in the back. I'm going to run a couple of laps to where I can get my points and lock everything up, and I'm coming off because I've had the flu all week long, and I do not feel like being in this car. But I'm going to start the race. She said, all right. Wrote me down. Me and Dad talked about it. They said, we might need to get out there and shake it down a little bit. I get out there, start the engine, and start shaking the car down. Adrenaline kicks in.
Sure.
After I got through running, I ended up qualifying. Heck with it, I'm going to qualify. Ended up qualifying on the outside pole. I was like, yeah, here we go. I'm fixing to pay for this. I made about 30 laps and come off. I was like, I can't do it no more.
Physically couldn't.
I had to have help out of the car.
Yeah, I got you. Sad to report on the passing of Rick Treadway. Treadway, the son of IndyCar owner Fred Treadway, got a couple of Indy 500s in all. After his racing career, got his pilot's license, started his own charter air service, served as an FAA certified flight instructor, got killed in a motorcycle accident a week ago today. Rick Treadway, 56 years old. Sorry to hear about his passing as well. And today, June 6th, D-Day plus 82 years. Remember what those men did on the beaches of Normandy on that fated day, June 6, 1944. And the sacrifices that were made. We wouldn't be able to talk about what we're talking about and do what we're talking about if it weren't for them.
Absolutely.
So we thank them very much for that sacrifice. And, of course, 2 days ago, Battle of Midway, June 4th, 1942, turned the tide of the war in the Pacific as well. And we thank them because, again, all of that's part of it. So take a little time today. Remember them. Enjoy the racing this weekend. Don't forget Cross Flags coming up this week. We're going to be talking about God only knows what, but I'm sure something will happen because that's what we do.
That's right.
We find out what happens over the weekend. Thanks to John Bird, John Myers, Matt Nicholson. I'm Steve West. Thank you for checking us out right here on the Championship Racing Network. Cross Flags this week and the big show again next Saturday morning right here